The feet of two vertical poles of height 3 meter and 7 meter are in line with a point P on the ground. The smaller pole being between the taller pole and point P at a distance 20 meter from point P. The angle of elevation of the top T of the taller pole from the top R of the smaller pole is 30 degrees. Calculate A. Distance RT. B. The distance of the foot of the taller pole from point P. Or write 3 significant figures. Then the third question under that question is we should calculate the angle of elevation of T from P, or write to 1 decimal place. Now, you see, that question, it's simple. The first step is that you first have to draw out the diagram, okay? Interpret the question into diagram. And you see, this is how the question is marked, especially question coming under the angle of elevation and depression. Immediately you get the correct diagram, you're going to be awarded some marks, you understand? So, and I'm very sure that you won't be able to get the right answer if you didn't get the diagram correctly. So I want you to pay attention, okay? Now, the feet of two vertical poles, okay? The feet of two vertical poles of height 3 meter and 7 meter. So the first pole is this, you understand? How will I do all this? Just pay attention, okay? Let's say the first pole is here. This is the first pole. The second pole is 7 meter. So the second pole, let's draw it here. Just don't mind me. If you are doing this in the exam, make use of ruler, okay? Make sure you use ruler. Let me even draw it again. Okay, let's say this is the that's the second pole. This one is 3 meter and this one is 7 meter. Okay, these poles, they are in line with a point on the ground. So let's call the point P on the ground. The smaller pole is between the taller pole and the point P. So that means that this is the smaller pole, and we are made to know in the question that this pole, the smaller pole, is between point P. So that means that point P is going to be around here. Do you understand? And this point P, this pole and this pole, they are on the same horizontal ground. Do you understand? They are on the same level. So that means that we're going to have something like this. I'm very sure you're getting the diagram. Okay. The smaller pole being between the taller pole and the point P at a distance of 20 meters from point P. So the distance between point P and the smaller pole is what? 20 meters. So this is point P. The distance from this point to this point is 20 meters. Do you understand? Okay. The angle of elevation of the top T of the taller pole from the top R of the smaller pole. Listen to that statement. You have to understand it, okay? See, the angle of elevation of the top T of the taller pole. See, this is top T of the taller pole from the top R of the smaller pole. This is R of the smaller pole. Is what? The angle of elevation is 30 degrees. So the angle of elevation here is 30 degrees. Okay. Don't mind my diagram, okay? I just want to make sure that the diagram is beautiful as much as possible, you know. So the angle of elevation, you know, and I told you that the angle of elevation is the angle between the line of sight or line of observation and the horizontal level. So that means that this is the horizontal level and this is the line of sight. So the angle here is 30 degrees. Do you understand? So we are asked to calculate the distance RT. Listen, we are asked to calculate this distance RT. We have to calculate the distance of the foot of the taller pole from P. The distance of the foot of the taller pole from P. So we are looking for this distance also. This is the foot of the taller pole, you know. This is the foot of the taller pole, and this is the distance. The distance of the foot of the taller pole from P will be the distance from this point to this point. Do you understand? So we are looking for this distance. Then we have to calculate the angle of elevation of T from P. So we are looking for another angle from P. This is the angle that you're looking for. So let me just put sketch line. So this is how the diagram will look like. You can see that this question is interesting. So if you get this diagram, you are you have already solved half of the problem. You understand? So because the ability in this topic, okay, the ability to interpret question matters a lot. So now, how do we find? Let's start with the first question. We are asked to find RT, line RT, line RT. We are looking for also like, don't forget that this one is what, 7 meter, you know, the distance T. Let's call this one point O. Do you understand? Let's call this point Q. Do you understand? Okay, so we are looking for line RT. We are also looking for line PO. Then we are also looking for angle theta. Let's call this angle theta. This is the theory. These are what we are asked to calculate. Now, please pay attention. I want to pay attention here. Let's start with line RT. To get line RT, you know that the distance, listen to me carefully, the distance from this point, the distance of RQ, okay, let me call this point A or point B. Okay, let's call this point B. See, the distance RQ is equals to BO. Okay, line RQ or line QR, depending on how you want to pronounce it, line QR is equals to line BO. Are you getting it? Equals to 3 meter, because both of them are parallel. You understand? They are parallel and also they are equal. You understand? So this also will be what? 3 meter. The distance from this point to this point is the same thing as distance from this point to this point. That's a 3 meter. Okay. Now, if the distance from this point to this point is 3 meter, and we have been given that the height of the total pole is 7 meter. So to get the distance, okay, let's take it step by step. Line TB plus line BO equals to 7 meter. You understand? Line TB plus line BO equals to 7 meter. You understand? Line, or you can put line TO, line TO, because the distance from this point to this point is TO, the total length is TO. So line TB, we don't know it. So line TB plus line BO is 3 meter. So 3 meter equals to line TO. Line TO now is what? 7 meter. So I'm going to have equals to 7 meter. Are you getting it? Okay. So line TB equals to 7 meter minus 3 meter. That is what? 4 meter. So the length from this point to this point is what? 4 meter. We are not done though. You see, we are taking this step by step. So I submit to you, if you pay attention, you're going to understand everything as much as this topic is concerned, because it's simple. Okay. So with respect to, we have already gotten this side as 4 meter. The length from this point to this point is 4 meter. Let us bring out triangle RBT or triangle BRT from triangle BRT. Let us look at the triangle. This is the triangle that we are 30 degree. This is 30 degree. Let me just draw it as big so that you can see it. This is 30 degree, you know, and this is 4 meter, you know. This is T, this is B, and this is R. Triangle BRT. Okay. Now, from this triangle, we have been given that, you know, that this is the angle that we are considering now. This will be the opposite, you know. This will be the hypotenuse, because this is the 90 degree hypotenuse, and this will be the adjacent. We are looking for line RT. Line RT is what? Is hypotenuse. So we have been given the opposite as 4 meter, and the angle that we are considering is what? 30 degree. So what trigonometric ratio are we going to use to get the value of the hypotenuse? We are going to make use of sine. You understand? So I'm going to have sine 30 degree equals to opposite. Opposite is 4 meter. So I'm going to have opposite over hypotenuse. The hypotenuse is unknown, or line RT. Okay. So line RT multiplied by sine 30 degree equals to what? 4. To get the value of line RT, what do? You divide both sides by what? Sine 30 degree. So I'm going to have this over sine 30 degree and this over sine 30 degree. Okay. Do you understand? Now, Sine 30 degree is what? Is 1 over 2, you know. So I'm going to have line RT is equals to 4 divided by 1 over 2. Line RT will be equals to 4 times 2. That is what? 8 meter. So line RT is equals to 8 meter. So now, this line that you see here is 8 meter. So we are done with the first question. Line RT is 8 meter. Now, let us proceed to the second question. We are looking for line PO. This line that you see here is what we are looking for now. It's simple. We are looking for this line PO. How do we get line PO? To get the value of line PO, don't forget that line PO is the distance from this point to this point. So line PO is equals to line PQ plus line QO. You know, this line, the total length that is here, line PO is equals to the sum of this point, the sum of line PQ and sum of line QO. Line QO. Okay, are you getting it? Now, line PO is equals to, line PQ is 20 meters, so I'm going to have 20 meter plus line QO. We don't know the value of line QO, do you know? Now, listen to me carefully. If I know the value of line RB, you see, I'm coming. You see, line RB is equals to line QO because they are parallel and they are equal in distance. You understand? So this line that you see here is equals to this line. Do you get it? So if I calculate this line, I can get the value of this line as well. Do you understand? So the goal now is to find the value of this line. You understand? The length of this line RB. If I know the value of line RB, since line RB equals to line QO, that means that the value of this line will be equals to this line. So I can sum this and this together to get the total distance from P and O. Do you understand? I mean, to get the total distance of PO. Do you get it? So how do we find the value of RB? To get the value of line RB, we are going to make use of trigonometric ratio or Pythagoras theorem. You can use any of them. Are you getting it? So you can use any of them. Don't mind. But for this, I'm going to make use of trigonometric ratio. Let us bring out triangle BRT. Triangle BRT from triangle BRT. Let us bring out the triangle. Triangle BRT. This is R and this is B. Why this is T? This is 30 degree. This is 90 and this is 8 meter. Okay, 8 meter. Now listen to me carefully. We are looking for RB, you know. Now, to get the value of, this is 4 meter. To get the value of RB, we can make use of car, we can make use of cos, and we can make use of chua. Do you understand? So let us use cos. Cos 30 degree is equals to, what's that? That is adjacent. The adjacent is RB. That is line RB all over hypotenuse, which is 8. So I'm going to have cos 30 degree is what? 0.8660 or with 3 over 2. You understand? So cos 30 is with 3 over 2. You see? I just want to put it in short form. You understand? You know, I've taught you sword. So if you missed the class, check the link in the description of this video to watch the class, okay? So I wish to put it in short form so as to ease the problem. So cos 30 is with 3 over 2. So I'm going to have this is equals to line RB all over 8. Okay, now having gotten to this point, the next step is to cross multiply, right? So let us take the cross product of this fraction. Line RB we multiply by 2 will be equals to 8 also multiplied by root 3. You understand? So to get line RB, you have to divide it by 2, this over 2 and this over 2. So line RB is equals to 2 here 1, 2 in 8, 4 root 3. Okay, and because we are asked to calculate PO, to 3 significant figures. So that means that we need to change this to decimal point. I mean, we have to change it to decimal. So that will be 6.9282. Line RB will be equals to 6.9282. So now that means that the distance from this point, the distance QO, distance QO is also 4 with 2, 4 with 3, or 6.9282. You see, let's listen to me carefully. 4 with 3 is still the same thing as 6.9282, so you didn't have any problem, okay? So the reason why I put it in decimal here is simply because I need it to calculate line PO, because the goal is to find line PO. So line PO will be equals to the sum of PQ. PQ is what? 20. So I'm going to have 20 meter plus 4 with 3 meter. So line PO will be equals to 20 meter plus 6.9282 meter. Okay, line P. So 20 meter plus 6.9282, that is 26.9282 meter. Okay, so line PO will be equals to 26.9 meter. So 3 significant figure. Do you understand? Okay, so we are done with this one. This is 26.9 meter. Now we are looking for the value of theta. Theta is the angle here. You can get theta, since we know that this side is 26.9 meter. So we can get the value of theta from triangle TPO or OPT or PTO, from triangle PTO, from triangle PTO, the bigger triangle, you understand? PTO. Tan theta equals to opposite. The opposite is what? TO. The opposite of this triangle is what? TO. That is 7 meter. So 7 meter all over adjacent. That is 26.9 over 26.9, you know. So theta will be equals to the tan inverse. Please listen. Theta will be equals to the tan inverse of 7 all over 26.9. Do you understand? Okay, so how do we get the value of theta? 7 divided by 26.9, that is 0.2602. So I'm going to have theta is equals to tan inverse of 0.2602. Do you understand? Okay, theta equals to tan inverse of 0.2602. Theta equals to, point your calculator, 0.2602. That is 14.58. 14.58. Okay, so let us check. Maybe you're asked to approximate to the nearest degree. Okay, correct to 1 decimal place. Okay, now since it is 1 decimal place, so that means that you're going to have theta equals to 14.6 degree. That is the value of theta. Do you understand? You can see that the question is simple. The question is simple. All you have to do is just pay attention to the details of the, question. So theta is 14.6 degree. Line PO is 26.9 meter, and line RT is 8 meter. Theta equals to 14.6 degree. So that is the solution to that question. The angle of elevation of the top of a flagpole is 64 degrees from a point 32 meter away from the foot of the flagpole. Find the angle of elevation of a flag halfway up the flagpole from that point, correct to the nearest degree. Okay, look at that question. We are told that the angle of elevation of the top of the flagpole from a point 32 meter away from the foot of the flagpole is 64 degrees. Okay, so let's say this is the flagpole. You understand? Okay, from a point 32 meter away from the foot of the flagpole. This is the foot of the flagpole. You know, this is the foot of the flagpole. You know. Now from this point, the distance to another point is 32 meter. Are you getting what I'm trying to say? Because the question says from a point 32 meter away from the foot of the flagpole. So the distance from this point to this point, 32 meter. Okay, and the angle of elevation is 64 degrees. So, and I told you that the angle of elevation is the angle between the line of sight and the horizontal level above. So we mirror it upward. Okay, so this angle is 64 degree. Okay, find the angle. Look at the question. Oh, this is the question. Find the angle of elevation of a flag halfway up the flagpole. This is the total length of the flagpole. Are you getting it?
To watch the complete class, kindly click on the link in the description of this video or the comment section, okay? See you in the next class.